middle school English. She walked away from education and happily embraced a business career. Since 1975, Anne has helped people across the nation self-publish their books, mainly family and local histories, church, school, and military histories, memoirs, poetry, religious books, and even a book about Chinese money. She has produced over 3,000 titles to date. 3,000?
Yeah.
3,000 books?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll figure that out. She currently works under her own imprint, Otter Bay Books. In 1999, she self-published a memoir about her miraculous search for the daughter she'd given up for adoption in 1966. Tonight she will read 2 excerpts from her book, Soul Connection, A Birth Mother's Healing Journey, a True Life Spiritual Adventure Story. Thank you very much, Anne Hughes.
Is that too high? Is that too high?
Is it too high for you? Okay. They're blinding?
Yeah, that's
That's what it's like.
all right. In the spotlight. All right.
In the spotlight.
Well, when I was 20 years old, I was pretty naive. I didn't think that way myself.
And you have to be in front of the mic.
Okay. So when I was 20 years old, I was pretty naive, although I didn't think of myself that way. My mother got me a summer job in Europe, and I was given 2 days on my own in Paris. Well, I wanted to practice my French, so I didn't think anything of it when a Sorbonne student asked me to lunch. I thought it would be a good idea, but as these things happen, I ended up in a situation that you call date rape today, but in those days it was all the woman's fault. Anyway, to avoid disgracing my family, I went to a home for unwed mothers and agreed to give my child up for adoption. This all seemed like a good idea until I gave birth. So this first excerpt is about the birth. This is it at last. The moment I've been waiting for, the beginning of the end. I've been pregnant for a long time, but very soon, I won't be pregnant anymore. Soon, yes. Another contraction. No mistake, this one screams, push. I bear down with all my soul. Out, child, come then. I give you life, but I'm not your real mother. You will belong to someone else. A nice married couple. A real family is waiting for you. Sadness and shame silently ooze out of me like birth fluids. It has all been arranged. That's good, I see the head. Another strong contraction grabs my gut. Inhale, bear down, push. It's like a watermelon moving through your bowels, I remember one of the other girls saying. And she was right, that's exactly how it feels. I close my eyes, hold my breath, and force the watermelon down and out, out, out. Oh, relief. Deep satisfaction floods my body. It's over. I draw a deep breath. Is that all? Did I do it? I open my eyes and look down. Dr. Marsh is suctioning the mucus from my newborn's mouth. It's slippery and wet. Look at all that dark hair. He slaps it gently and it gives a cry of life. My baby's alive. Oddly, dread grips me now. This is real after all. Will they tell me if it's a boy or a girl, I wonder? You did a good job, Anne. It's a girl, he says, handing my infant to the orderly, who disappears into the distant corner of the room. Since when does an unwed mother get praised for giving birth, I ask myself. But she's a girl. That makes her like me. I'm glad. What are they doing with her back there? I keep my eyes on the back of the delivery room where they're holding my baby. Now they're putting drops in her eyes. They clean her, weigh her, and wrap her clean pink body in a little flannel blanket. I assume they all have strict instructions not to show her to me. I expect them to whisk her straight off to the nursery. However, since they've all been nice so far, I motion to the nurse. May I see her? I ask shyly. Sure, she's your baby, she replies with kindness. My baby? How strange that sounds. Well, I guess she is technically anyway. Would that make me a real mother? I wonder. The nurse tucks the baby under my arm. After they transfer me to the gurney, I'll ride to the recovery room. We lie together in silence under the bright delivery room lights. I hesitate, then reach over toward her. A thought jabs back at me. Don't touch her, you sinner. You might defile her. My hand retreats. Okay, but I can look at her, can't I? It won't do any harm just to look. Now her beaming face compels me to stare at her fully. Her eyes open and close. Her perfect features, crowned by a full head of thin, dark hair, are cradled in flannel. I am transfixed by her beauty and her smell all fresh and new. It's amazing, I muse. She's a real human being, and she's so beautiful. Pride streams through me. I love her entirely. Stop. Remember, she doesn't belong to you, an inner voice warns. Deep sorrow floods out the sweet trickles of joy. The world silently drowns. Well, I console myself with a sigh. We'll have this tiny bit of time together anyhow. Soon the gurney rattles forward and we are beyond the delivery room doors. Endless green walls begin sliding by. Her little body feels toasty and warm lying there beside me. I simmer with pride, then strangely, I sense a strong power radiating from her body. But how is it possible for a tiny baby to be so full of the life force? Then it happens. My ears start ringing, and all at once an enraged mob is clamoring at me, slashing me with furious allegations. My body tenses. Now a tidal wave of feeling tries to drown me. I gasp for air. Accusations pound and howl through my whole being, deafening me. A voice thunders, it seems, from somewhere deep inside her. It's not right to give away your own flesh and blood. Perhaps it's just my guilty conscience speaking, but I'm so jolted that I tear my eyes away to look around. But no accuser lurks in the empty hallway. So I turn back to my body, my baby, just as the awesome force rips at me again. She'll never know her real name, her family connections. She'll think you gave her away because you didn't love her. Brutal awareness presses in from all sides. It compresses my chest. I fight for breath. A vision floats before me, my dark-haired beauty adrift in the world without her heritage. I feel her powerlessness, her aching need to know. Poor baby, I never intended to hurt you like this. I never knew I'd love you. I never knew you belonged with me. Everything's so different now you're born. Tears rise, warm and fluid. I made a huge mistake. But how could I ever keep you now? I promised everyone I'd give you up for adoption. What about the people waiting to adopt you? What would everyone think of me if I broke my promise? Besides, I've got to get back to finish school, I plead, knowing in my heart that if only I could find the courage, it could all be changed. But my parents, air catches, tears at my throat. They'll disown me. Where would we turn? The gurney rumbles on, slowly, heavily. A solid wall of hopelessness slides across my life, and a possibility closes off forever. I do, however, make my daughter a promise to find her someday. And I wait about 23 years to start acting on that. You may not know this, but adoption records are still closed in the majority of states. An adopted person, therefore, has no right to know who gave birth to him, or why he was given away. He has no right to his medical history, to his genealogical connections, and the birth mother has no right to know if her child is alive or dead. That's why I turned to spiritual resources and the adoption underground to find my daughter. This second excerpt describes my visit to an astrologer just before I began to search. So how have you been, Anne? It's been a long time. What brings you here today? I get to the point immediately. I have a new problem I want to discuss with you, Linda. It concerns a child I surrendered for adoption back in 1966. I watch her face carefully. Her eyes close briefly, registering my unspoken pain, but she doesn't flinch in disapproval. She has passed my test. I'm thinking about beginning a search for her. I pause and look down. How would you do that? She uncrosses her legs and leans forward. She obviously knows the records are sealed. I tell her briefly about the steps I've taken with putting my information in the reunion registries and about my lack of results. I'm not sure what else to do, but I have to do something. My shoulders slump. I sit looking at my lap for a long while. I've never admitted it before, but I may have hit an impenetrable wall. This is something you feel very deeply about, isn't it, Anne? A wave of sadness rolls over me. I'm really incomplete about this, Linda. Everybody thinks I'm lucky, and I am. I have a wonderful second marriage, 2 great kids, and a job I love. But I don't know. The better my life is, the worse I feel about this mess. It doesn't match the rest of the picture, eh? Something. I shake my head. I realized a few months ago that I can't just wait around forever for her to find me. She might be in trouble or something. She's my daughter. I love her. I have to know she's okay. So what can I do for you? Well, I'm scared, mostly about whether the timing is right for me to do my search now or whether I should wait. I have to get this right. I can't mess it up because I'll only get one chance. Also, I'd feel more comfortable about searching if I could know something about what her reaction might be, what kind of a person she is, stuff like that. I have a zillion questions, but you're the only person I could think of that might be able to give me some answers. Linda bows her head in concentration, absorbing the enormity of my problem. Meanwhile, I reach down beside me, touching the smooth leather of my briefcase, feeling for the piece of paper I'd slid into the outside pocket earlier. I have her birth chart, I announce. I had sent for it in the mail last year. With pride, I hold it out to Linda. It wavers between us, a map of her soul's path. Linda looks the chart over and then runs her finger across it from top to bottom. Uranus opposing Saturn is the cosmic seal for adoption, you know, she says, looking up at me. You mean her soul wanted her adoption? My eyes expand in astonishment. Yes, it did, comes Linda's calm reply. My God, I always thought I committed a terrible sin when I gave her up. You mean that's the way things were supposed to be? I asked with breathless surprise. It's what her soul wanted for her, Anne. Linda says, looking up at me. It was her plan for this lifetime. You see, there's an important lesson that being adopted will allow her to learn. See this north node in Taurus? She needs to find her center, deep contentment. Find out who she really is. That's her soul's mission in this lifetime. What better way to learn to value identity and stability than to be born without it? Oh, I choke out. This changed everything I'd ever thought. All that guilt I'd laid on myself, all those rules I'd made up about the ways things should have been, all those years of torture and self-blame, had it all been needless? I lower my head to stop the spinning feeling, then jerk it up again when Linda's voice intrudes. Souls choose to be aborted, to die young, to be born retarded or deformed, she continues. But why, Linda? How can that be right? Some souls need lessons like that. She pauses. It's their karma. She leans forward and looks into my eyes then. If a person's taken his own life, wouldn't it make sense for his soul to be aborted in his next incarnation so he can learn the value of life? Everything happens so souls can learn what they need to know. Oh yes, we talked about that last time. Linda, do you think she'll be open to knowing me? I had to ask, even though I was afraid to hear the answer. Yes, she replies without hesitation. She has a moon in Cancer. That will make her very sensitive to her mother. Your fifth house, the house of children, is in Capricorn, she continues. That could mean your search will be difficult and that exact timing will be important. She hands me back my charts. How do you plan to go about finding her? She asks again. I rise, clutching my briefcase and stuffing the chart back in. I have no idea, I reply blankly. And after that, I joined her astrology class, and I actually began my search at the symphony during a performance of Mahler's first symphony. So we'll have to, it's a spiritual adventure story. For sale. Thank you.